NXT took place tonight in Orlando, Florida at the WWE Performance Center. This show was coming off the biggest NXT show of the year, which was Stand and Deliver, which took place this past Saturday in St. Louis. This show started off with the new NXT champion, Tony D'Angelo, coming out. He cuts a promo talking about his past NXT, his journey to the title. He got "You Deserve It" chants. Then he starts mentioning his opponents in the match. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and then he mentions Joe Hendry, and he appears. And then Ricky Saints, or actually Ethan Page came out first, next, then Ricky Saints came out. Then the lights go out, and it's dark state. It leads to a brawl, and later we go backstage after the break. The four guys were all upset with Robert Stone. He then makes a match between Tony, Ricky, Ethan, and Joe Hendry against Dark State. It's an 8-man tag. Then we see Sol Ruca walking past them, heading to the ring. We see Sol Ruca comes out next, and then Izzy Dame would come out with the calling. We get Sol Ruca and Izzy Dame. Not a bad matchup here. So when the referee was distracted by the calling, Zarya came out and speared Sol Ruca coming through the crowd. Then Izzy Dame pins her, and then Zarya beats on Sol after the match, setting up another matchup. And I was a little bit confused after Stand and Delivery, because why would Sol Ruca win when I assume she's going to the main roster next? It makes sense now that they're doing another match between the two of them, which Zarya almost assuredly will win, and then Sol can go to the main roster. So Vanity Project wants to meet with Robert Stone backstage. When Blake Monroe walks in, they timed it perfectly. Then they try to impress her. They give her a new NXT Women's North American Championship belt, and then it leads to a mixed tag team match being made for later in the night. They show us the Vegas strips, promote WrestleMania tickets. Keanu Carver was out next. Oh my god, who cares? Then we have Elio LaFleur talking to Eli Knight and some other guy, I don't know. I guess he's a Belgian wrestler. Like, here's the thing with this stuff. It feels like these guys have never had a genuine conversation before because they can't communicate with each other. It's not just the English barrier, the language barrier, whatever. One guy speaks French, one guy speaks English. Who cares? It's the issue of it feels like they can't. They're memorizing their lines, and none of it sounds organic. It sounds like they've never had a conversation with each other. And this is what hurts NXT so much. It's these awful, horrendous, horrifically acted backstage promos. I can act better than some of these fucking guys. That's what's killing the show. It's like these guys are so nervous to remember their lines. They don't sound organic. It doesn't sound like they've ever had a real conversation before, and it's so bad. Anyway, I really think NXT gets dragged down with this this cheesy, campy bullshit when we have these awful, horrifically, poorly acted segments. We got an awful triple threat match: Jasper Troy, Keanu Carver, Josh Briggs. Remember, there's a reason why I watch from delay to skip matches like this, which Keanu Carver won. I skipped the whole match. I don't give a shit. I hate all three of these guys. So backstage, Tatum Paxley talked to Shiloh Hill before their tag team match. Then you had Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, and Tony D'Angelo and Ethan Page actually against Dark State. So you had Tony D'Angelo hit his finisher on Saquon Sugars, but then Ethan Page tags himself in. He kicks Tony D'Angelo, and Ethan Page gets the win. Then after the match, Tony attacks Ethan with the dead to rights, and it sets up a match between the two of them. We got a Jada Parker video promo on Kalani Jordan. She went after Kalani at the Performance Center during training, and then she tried to go after her in her car, which was funny. They will face next week. Birthright was out next. Then we got an NXT Men's Speed Tournament match. Lexis King against Chaz Starboy Hill. Has to be some local indie guy. I don't know who the hell he was. Lexis King won easily. Tony D'Angelo and Miles Bourne had words for Robert Stone. Miles left, and then Tony really wants Ethan Page, and the match is set up. Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxley are out next. Then after the break, they promoted the Shawn Michaels documentary on Peacock. Then Blake Monroe comes out with the Vanity Project, and we get Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxley against Blake Monroe and Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project. So the other members Brad is one of them, and then Ricky. They interfered, as you'd expect. It eventually leads to Blake Monroe pinning Tatum Paxley in this match. She hit a glamour shot DDT, so it's going to set up another match between the two of them. I don't really need to see it, to be honest. I want to see Blake go for the NXT Women's Championship now, but I guess whatever. They'll have another match. Tatum's going to win. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Robert Stone backstage. He announces a 2-week special called NXT Revenge. So NXT has a couple of big shows during WrestleMania week, if you will, because on the Tuesday before WrestleMania, it's the Revenge Show Part 1, and the Tuesday after WrestleMania, Revenge Show Part 2. But both of them are going to be in the Performance Center in Orlando, so they're not going to Las Vegas. I mean, some NXT stars, I think, will make appearances at WWE World and stuff. They'll sign autographs, but there's going to be no NXT presence during WrestleMania this year. Obviously, they would have announced if it was going to be in Las Vegas the Tuesday, which it's not, so no NXT presence at all. Last year, they did the Tuesday's NXT show in Las Vegas. That was 2 days after WrestleMania at the Fontaine Blue, which they're not doing now. They're going to the Park MGM, which is a much older hotel and casino, if I'm not mistaken. Then they also, of course, delivered last year, which was in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. Now, no NXT at all. Zero NXT in Las Vegas this year. It's unfortunate, I think. So, Lola Vice heads to the ring next. We got an NXT video package on Callie Armstrong. They preview next week's show and the week after, which is the Revenge shows. Lola Vice was out next as the new NXT Women's Champion. She's cutting an emotional promo after her win. She's interrupted by Fatal Influence. They're booing JC loudly. Finally, Robert Stone comes out and grants JC a rematch, and Fatal Influence attacks Lola, but she fights them off. And that's how NXT ended. Not much of a show. I just knew it. It's always with NXT. Whenever they come off big shows, like the next shows usually doesn't mean anything, especially if there's another big show set up. So here, last week's NXT was in Madison Square Garden. That was a big show. And then the biggest show of the year on their biggest PLE, which was Stand and Deliver, which was the following Saturday. And then after this, you have NXT Revenge, 2 weeks, 2 major shows during WrestleMania week. Obviously, this was going to be the throwaway week, and it was. Not much here, not much you'd expect from NXT right now. Really an average show, a very skippable show, a very forgettable show. It wasn't awful, but it was just what it was. I watched on delay because I really wouldn't want to watch a triple threat match. I wanted to skip it so how much I hate those guys. But NXT really wasn't too exciting this week. Wanted to mention some stuff. So I did a couple of shorts. Go watch these shorts on YouTube. That WWE announced that WrestleMania 42, the match card order for both shows. I don't know if actually the order, but the matches that will be on both nights of WrestleMania. So the Saturday WrestleMania and the Sunday WrestleMania. We now know the matches that are going to take place on both nights. Check out my YouTube shorts. And CM Punk and Roman Reigns is the Sunday main event. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is the Saturday main event. So we know that now. Not much to say about it. Not too surprising with the order. I also wanted to mention this, and if you've followed my channel for the last year, you know why. So last year, April 7th of 2025, was a horrible day for many in the wrestling community, people who listen to podcasts, because Kevin Castle of the Don Choney and Kevin Castle show tragically passed away last year, unexpectedly, I believe, of a heart attack. Horrible thing that happened. He was only 56. Really sad to hear that. And it's been 1 year now. I was a long time listener to Don Choney and Kevin Castle show. Used to listen to them every Tuesday morning. Some very fond memories listening to those guys, especially when I was going to college. Always listened to them every Tuesday morning. So many memories of them. Watching those clips from TV tracks, I listened to a couple of podcasts today just to hear Kevin's voice again since it's been a year. And there was one where he was just talking about him being in, the club business, nothing to do with wrestling. He was talking for like 3 hours. It's called We Win Together, We Lose Together. Check it out. But just wanted to mention that it's been a year since Kevin Castle passed away, and he's definitely missed. His voice is missed, and rest in peace, Kevin Scondato, his real name, and I always say, Kevin Castle, his voice lives forever. He can rest easy, incredibly influential. Don Choney and Kevin Castle show is just legendary to me. But I definitely wanted to mention that at the end of this review. So, any other news during WrestleMania week? I don't know. I'm sick of the celebrity stuff. I think we all are. TKO is now playing into it because they can't sell tickets. Is what it is. So I know the second half of this review has been longer than the NXT show because not much happened on NXT this week, and I don't want to put a show under 10 minutes. But That's what happened, and that was NXT. Tonight, we'll see what happens next week on NXT Revenge.